Pelicans is a final tonight in NOLA. Game 69 of the season is in the books.
It's the Pizza Hut Lakers Postgame Show.
Delivered by new melts from Pizza Hut. Cheesy, crispy, and loaded with toppings for just $6.99. Enough for two, price for one. New Pizza Hut melts, only at Pizza Hut.
Lakers basketball is a final.
877-710 ESPN.
It's the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Tipping off now.
Here's Alan Sliwa.
All right, Lakers over the Pelicans, 123-108 the final score. Big time win for the Lake Show. Had to have it. They're 34-35 on the season now. Again, just one game away from 500. See if the Lakers can handle business tomorrow and get back to 500. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-ESPN. Need a break from the everyday? Well, fans, it might be your lucky day because tonight, Fantasy Springs Resort Casino is giving away a 2-night stay plus dinner and golf or bowling for two. Make any day your lucky day. Book now at fantasyspringsresort.com. Lakers jump out 75-40 in the first half. Led by 40 in the game. The second half was kind of grinding gears. Let's be honest with each other here. It was more about the Lakers just kind of letting the clock tick down. You could tell they definitely took their foot off the gas. Probably played more minutes for the starters than you wanted to see, especially with a back-to-back tomorrow. But ultimately, the Lakers did get the job done. The Lakers did win the game, and they could kind of move on from this one. You basically gained ground. You gained 2 games on the Pelicans simply because now you have the tiebreaker, and it's actually kind of it's funny here. So I actually didn't even realize this. Because the Thunder beat Brooklyn and Oklahoma City, I'm assuming has a tiebreaker over the Dallas Mavericks. The Thunder have actually moved to 8. Lakers are at 10, and Dallas are at 9. So it's 8, 9, 10 right now. But all three of those teams have the same record, 34-35. Thunder, Mavericks, and Lakers. Lakers now a game from where the Minnesota Timberwolves are, 2 games out from where the Clippers are. Had a lot of guys contribute. AD led the way, 35 and 17. Malik Beasley, really, really nice seeing him hit some threes. He had it going there in the first half. I think he hit 7 of his 10 threes in the first half. Okay, let's take a listen here to Lakers head coach Darvin Ham. I'll give everybody a heads up because I was reading this while the interview was going on. AD's not going to play tomorrow against Houston. So he is not cleared, even though he's playing pain-free. I'm going to read this tweet from Kyle Goon. Organization is going to stick to their plan that they made with team doctors a while ago. Describes his foot as an active injury. So he's feeling good. He's 100% healthy. He had the big numbers that he had tonight, but he's not going to play against the Houston Rockets tomorrow. Here's Lakers head coach Darvin Ham.
Darvin, that was quite the first half shot making and create this huge lead. But what is the message when it does seem like the NBA teams make a comeback, but you don't want to let your foot off the throat in that context? How do you message that to the team?
You just try to keep stacking possessions. Basically told them at halftime we didn't show any film. Just kind of talked them through it. At halftime we had 19 assists, 2 great defensive quarters going into the half. Just to continue to do what we need to do. Being in this building before, having a dominant first half and then coming out and falling apart in the third quarter was our experience the last time we was here. And, it's hard to play with a league of that magnitude because, they're going to push back, the momentum swings, the consistency of the whistle. It gets kind of choppy. So, we just had to stay the course, told them to stay aggressive. Let's try to win the free throw line in the second half. Play downhill as much as possible. And I think we ended up with 18 free throws in the second half, so we were able to do that. And again, just building the right habits to be able to play as much of a full 48-minute game as possible. And so, a little bit of momentum swings back and forth in that game, but we'll take it. It's hard as hell to win in this league, and where we're trying to get to, it's a big win for us.
Now that we're past the game, what's the plan for AD tomorrow?
Well, he's not going to play. He hasn't been cleared. Even though he's playing pain-free, we made an organizational decision, starting with our team doctors, to hold him out of back-to-back. So it's just one of those things where even though he's playing pain-free, it's still an active injury. So we have to monitor it, stick to the plan as we always have done, and just go out there with our other guys and try to get a W and finish the trip the right way.
I recognize that the plan was in place before this game began, but when you're up 35 and a half, is there any thought like, oh man, we could maybe just rest them, keep his minutes down?
Yeah, it definitely was a thought, but obviously, that's a hell of a ball club over there that has a lot of pride. They made their push. I can't remember the lowest they cut into it. I think it almost got to 10 and 13, 12, 13 at one point. So, having to reinsert him into the game kind of nixed all those any illusions of grandeur. So, but then again, that was the plan, that was put in place way before he came back into the lineup.
And just one more on AD, we spoke to about pregame and taking accountability for the Knicks loss. I think he scored his first 6 points for you guys.
Yeah.
Was making plays on both ends. How much do you think his initial thrust led to the snowball effect of how well you guys played as a team in the first half?
Oh, it was huge, man. I told him, go out there and make it happen, set the tone. And him being with Bron out, him being the ultimate tone setter, even when Bron is in uniform and in the lineup, he has to know that he has to be the one to spearhead and get us started moving in the right directions on both sides of the ball. Once tip-off occurs, he's got to know that he has to be applying pressure on both sides of the ball to the opposing team, night in and night out.
AD did take the blame. You said he would play better. Beasley did shoot the ball last 3 games. What do you think about the play of both of those guys tonight?
Again, that's why they are who they are. Everything's not going to be, smell like roses all the time. And you just have to take the good with the bad and continue to work. Continue to take the same shots, not get gunshot, not get too down and beat yourself up too much. Beautiful thing about our league that if you don't have such a good performance on a previous night, you have another chance to make up for it the following night, and that's what we witnessed out there tonight. And again, they're two elite professionals, and they show why they are who they are.
All right, that's Lakers head coach Darvin Ham right there. Lakers get the win. Obviously, a big win for the Lake Show over the Pelicans, 123-108. We'll take some of your phone calls when we come back. Get a chance to hear from more of the players. The Lakers now, and the standings are so fluid. It's actually kind of fascinating. I'm sitting here trying to figure out with our folks internally here all the different tiebreakers, conference record, what's the Thunder and the Mavs, what's their record head-to-head. 8, 9, 10 all have the same record, 34 and 35. So keep that one in mind. Lakers still have a matchup coming up against the Thunder. They still have a matchup coming up against the Dallas Mavericks. So really, destiny is in their own hands. More of the postgame show when we come back. Stay right here. Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710.
Everybody, it's Cap. Listen, I want you to mark your calendars for March 16th. It's Thursday. It's the tip of the tournament, and we're all going to be at Yamava. Okay, so it's going to be Travis and Sliwa from 10 to 1. Mason's not going to be on vacation. Mason and Ireland 1 to 4. Me and Shidano coming up from 4 to 7. There's all these amazing craft beers, incredible restaurants, 150 LED screen TVs. It's the 909, the greatest sports bar on the planet at Yamava. Thursday, March 16th, all day long. Mark your calendars. Be there. I'll see you at Yamava.
All right, we're reminding you that Pickleball Madness, our March Pickleball Madness, is coming up on March 18th at Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. It's free for all non-participants, and there's a million things to do, Al.
All right, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come out, hang out. We do these events every time we do them. We love having listeners there. We got our Papa Shot Challenge. We got a beer garden going on. So we got everything going on. Don't forget that day.
Games for the kids. Bring the kids on out. It'll be a great time. You'll watch me and Al just wipe the floor with everybody because we're pickleball experts.
We'll be out in the first round.
Game Show.
Highlights from tonight's Lakers game.
And your reaction on the Lakers line. Presented by Pizza Hut. Try the new Detroit style from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hi, this is Anthony Davis of your Los Angeles Lakers.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
It's time for Lakers Postgame with Sliwa.
Now, here's Alan Sliwa.
Our Points in the Paint all season long is sponsored by Vista Paint. Right now, local residents can take 40% off on factory direct, high-quality Vista Paint products. A Vista Paint team member will show you how, locally owned, manufactured, and operated since 1956. Visit vistapaint.com and start saving. Points in the Paint tonight. Lakers ended up with 38 points in the paint, 56 for the Pelicans. Big difference in this game. Lakers just so many threes early on. Had 15 in the first half, ended up with 18, were plus 21 from the three-point line, end up winning the game by 15, get obviously a much-needed win. So, like I mentioned, with the standings right now, 34 and 35, 8, 9, and 10 all have the same record. Utah Jazz and the Pelicans now 1 game behind the Thunder, the Mavs, and the Lakers. Portland's kind of fell back a little bit behind the pack here, but if they win tonight, they'll be 2 games behind. Minnesota, sitting at the number 7 seed, has all these teams just kind of right on their heels. Clippers only a 1-game advantage over the Timberwolves. So the entire Western Conference, these last – Lakers got 13 games left on the year. This entire Western Conference just so tough to keep track of. Even Memphis and Sacramento fighting for number 2. Phoenix trying to hold on to number 4 or potentially moving up. But I think right now without KD, they're just trying to hold on to that spot. So nothing is solidified right now. And even kind of a random one here, even though Denver, who's got a 4-game lead, they've lost 4 games in a row out of nowhere here. So they're struggling a little bit as well. All right, let's take some quick phone calls here. Let's go with Solomon in Lake Balboa. What's going on, Solomon?
Hey, I'm good, Alan. Thanks so much for taking my call. I don't mean to quote Doc Rivers. He didn't like that, but it's take shot, make shot league. When you make your shots, good things happen. You saw that tonight. Lakers were on fire, and they killed it. AD answered the bell. Seems like every time he's questioned, the man does have pride in his game, and he comes back and did well. And I'm totally okay with him not playing tomorrow night. He's got a tenuous injury. Would hate losing him for the run here. So I'm good with that, and let's see what happens going forward.
Appreciate you calling in. Thanks, Solomon. So something about tomorrow. So if you're just tuning in right now, AD had monster numbers tonight. I agree with that. Anthony Davis has no problem admitting when he's had a bad game. He did that against the New York Knicks. He had 35 and 17 tonight, 12 of 13 from the free throw line. In regards to tomorrow's game, so just to kind of give it in terms of how the Lakers are describing this, and I guess it's not too big of a shock. A couple of weeks ago, we were in a similar position, and the Lakers said that he's 100% healthy, but they are not going to play him in a back-to-back, and nothing's going to change for tomorrow. Won't play tomorrow night, second of back-to-back. That's still the plan with the medical staff to hold him out of back-to-backs that was put in place prior to his return to play from the stress reaction to his foot. So I think in a perfect world, he's healthy enough to play tomorrow. I mean, I'd love to see him go tomorrow. I get what people say of, no, I'm fine. That's no problem. I don't know if I completely agree with that. Obviously, if that's part of the plan and that's part of the medical staff, then that's it. It is what it is. But what you don't want to have happen is because AD's not there, they end up losing that game, and then that game comes back to haunt them. That could happen as well. I know it's the Rockets, but heck, the Rockets just beat Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Anybody can beat anybody in one game in the NBA. So let's hope it doesn't come back and AD gets the rest and the Lakers still get a win against the Rockets tomorrow. Let's go to McGee in San Pedro. What's going on, McGee?
What's going on, Alan? We are ready for the play-in, my man. We came out, we did what we had to do, shot 3-pointers. We look like a great team, especially without LeBron there to do the spacing and conduct the offense.
Well, McGee, they're thank you for calling in. They're 9-4 since the trade deadline. 9-4. I mean, that's not a 5-game sample size. We're getting close to 15 games As far as 13 games now, getting closer by the time this week's over, you'll have a 15-game sample size. I think that tells a story. I think that's certainly telling part of the story of what the Lakers are doing right now. I think there's certainly a lot of guys that feel comfortable in their role. I think D'Angelo Russell doing what he's doing is fantastic to get him back, and all these other guys help, and they just couldn't miss a shot in the first half. 75 points in the first half. 15 threes in the first half. In a game that I think we would all agree was arguably the biggest game of the season. I don't say that dramatic to be dramatic. It really was. Arguably the biggest game of the season for the Lakers, and they found a way to pull it out. Let me take one more quick call, and then we're going to go to Troy Brown Jr. Scooter in L.A. What's going on, Scooter?
Hey, Alan, how you doing?
Good, brother. Thanks for calling in.
Okay, I just wanted to say, man, it was a good win. If not a must-win, it was a nice-to-have win. Really needed it. And I wish they could have, as Chick would say, put it in the refrigerator a little earlier than what they did, to give the starters and the rotation players a little rest. But it's okay. And tomorrow, I wonder if they would have happened to lost this game, would they had played AD or not? And
I don't think they would have.
Beasley got his stroke back.
Yeah, Scooter, and I appreciate you calling in. So I don't think they would have. I think they sound like they're pretty – the result of the game was not going to determine whether they're going to play him tomorrow or not. And maybe just kind of add a little bit more emphasis to make sure the Lakers would go out. Listen, they got enough talent to go win tomorrow, so let's just hope that they could do that. I do agree that the second half was – it would have been nice if by the time the fourth quarter started – it's a 28-point lead, 25-point lead, 6 minutes to go. It's a 25-point lead. So you really didn't have to play a lot of these other guys, but that was not the case for the Lakers. Let's take a quick listen. Here's Troy Brown Jr. on the Lakers win.
Troy, I know it was important for you guys to just considering the opponent, where you are in the standings, losing that game to the Knicks on Sunday. But where did you see that first half really start to push in the right direction as it seemed like everything was going in?
Honestly, I feel like for me, I was a little zoned out. I was just so happy we were playing good basketball. I didn't even realize they hadn't scored yet. So when we went into that timeout and it was 0-14 and guys were still, cheering each other on and telling us to stay hungry, AD was still pushing us to play better and stuff like that. That was definitely good for us.
Yeah, so you had a rare off night last game. The shots weren't falling. You're probably a little bit. It happens, right, to everybody. Was it important for you individually, or do you try not to think about that as much in the team context?
I definitely come into the game with a little bit of pride for sure, just because it's I feel like I owe that to my teammates. When I'm having off nights and stuff like that, it's just for me, I feel like in my head I'm kind of damn, if I would have made that shot, that would have helped us, But at the end of the day, the game waits for nobody, and we got another one coming up. Big game we needed to win, tiebreaker. So I'm definitely glad we got the win today.
You feel like shooting is contagious when your teammates start hitting them, and does it maybe remove a little bit of the pressure, or does it just kind of the flow of basketball momentum? Do you believe in that?
I definitely think there's a good momentum going on, especially today. Everybody was shooting it, but I definitely think your shot is more what you work on and just to get in that consistency. So.
Second half, we know New Orleans was going to make a push probably at some point. You guys obviously could have played a lot better than you did, but what is that balance there of knowing you're up big, still trying to push, and then just knowing how the NBA works?
It's hard, man. Everybody in the NBA is good, and when you're playing with that lead, you're trying not to be too cautious, but at the same time, you still got to kind of play with that edge and still play with that fire you did in the first half. So it's definitely a hard balance, but, I felt like we fought through it and we tried to fight through that adversity as much as we could, and I'm glad we came out with the win.
Last one for you. So back-to-back tomorrow night at Houston. We know AD's not going to play. They want to make sure they're being smart about his foot. What does it take for you guys to step up as a collective without him?
Big thing for us, obviously, offensive rebounding. We got to make sure that we're boxing out, making sure they're not getting offensive rebounds. And then they getting out in transition very well. So if we can get stops on them and then make sure they're not pushing, I think we'll have a good chance to win.
All right, that's Troy Brown Jr. right there. We come back, we'll get a chance to hear from Austin Reaves. We'll also get a chance to hear from Anthony Davis. Stay right here. Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on.
Everybody, it's Cap. Listen, I want you to mark your calendars for March 16th. It's Thursday. It's the tip of the tournament, and we're all going to be at Yamava, Okay, so it's going to be Travis and Slee from 10 to 1. Mason's not going to be on vacation. Mason in Ireland, 1 to 4. Me and Shidano coming up from 4 to 7. There's all these amazing craft beers, incredible restaurants, 150 LED screen TVs. It's the 909, the greatest sports bar on the planet at Yamava, Thursday, March 16th, all day long. Mark your calendars. Be there. I'll see you at Yamava.
We were getting schooled by George Sedano, the most athletic guy at the station. You're really scared of DeMarco and... Come on.
Those two guys are going to run into each other.
DeMarco?
Court ain't big enough for them two boys.
Kirk?
Seriously, big boys. Soul brother. Too big. They're too big.
Pizza Hut Lakers Postgame Show.
Highlights from tonight's Lakers game.
And your reaction on the Lakers line.
The Los Angeles Lakers on 710 ESPN.
Presented by Pizza Hut. Try the new Detroit style from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Once again,
here's Alan Sliwa.
All right, Lakers handle the Pelicans tonight. Final score, 123-108. Lakers now in a three-way tie for 8th place. So confusing. I thought Lakers win, they'd move up in the standings. They actually moved back because Oklahoma City won. They have a tiebreaker over the Mavericks. It's confusing. Why don't the Lakers just keep winning? They don't have to worry about any of that. 34-35 on the season. They got another one coming up tomorrow against the Houston Rockets. No Anthony Davis in tomorrow night's matchup, so keep that one in mind. Austin Reaves tonight ended up off the bench, continued to contribute. How great is he off the bench? Just so consistent. 14 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 of 5 from the field. Had 14 points. All he took was 5 shots. Gets to the free throw line, too, which is great. Here's Austin Reaves on the Lakers' 123-108 win over the Pelicans.
Lose a game to the Knicks, drop to 11, wake up today, and you're at 9 without even playing.
Yeah, it's the nature of the NBA. I mean, obviously, we dropped one to the Knicks that, got hurt. I mean, we were in the game. Thought a couple things went our way late. We could have won that game, but everything's kind of bunched up from 12 to 5 or 6 or whatever. So you really just got to take it one game at a time. You can't really worry about what's going on outside of what we got to do. And we approach every game to win, and then whatever happens on the back end happens.
Austin, just with how many threes were falling for you guys in the first half, do you feel like shooting is contagious? Do you kind of, your course of your really basketball life, is that something you've just seen that's how it goes sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, when I feel like basketball gods is a real thing, and when you play the right way, you make the right pass, the shot goes from a 40% shot maybe to a 55% shot if make the extra. You swing, whatever he just said. So, it's contagious to playing good basketball. Everybody passing it, everybody feeling good. If you're in the same position when you make the extra next possession, the same thing's going to happen to you. You feel more confident in it. So that's the main thing. We just got really good looks and knocked them down.
And that you also see in the NBA every night when one team has a big lead, it seems like inevitably the other team makes a push. What are the ways to try and counter that and to try to not get into the other side of that where you're kind of not playing the way that you want to play and you're just kind of trying to avoid them making a run?
Yeah, I mean, it's the NBA, and with how people shoot the three now is a 20-point lead is not really anything. I think you've seen it with the Warriors game last night. The Suns cut it to, I think, probably like 8 in the third or fourth. But it's really the nature of the game now with how many threes are being shot. So you really just gotta, whatever was working for you in the first half, just continue to do that. Obviously teams make adjustments. They kind of, try to keep you from doing what was working in the first. But at the end of the day, just play good basketball. And like I said, basketball gods are real. So they'll benefit you in the long run.
All right, that's Austin Reaves right there. So he does his part. Malik Beasley, who I know I've definitely kind of talked about how he's been very inconsistent since he's come. Remember, he had a game early on where he hit 7 threes, but for the most part, his percentage hasn't been all that great. Tonight he was fantastic. It was 8 of 16 from the field. Hit 7 threes in the first half. 24 points total. Let's take a listen. Here's Malik Beasley on the Lakers win.
You basically told us this morning that this was going to be right around the corner for you.
Yeah.
Can you just take us inside your mentality? I think you hit something 5 out of your first 6 threes or whatever, and it seems like as soon as it got in your hands, you were putting it up.
I felt confident tonight. I just told myself to keep doing what I'm doing, don't change anything up, and don't worry about the pressure of making shots, and just do it. And tonight I did that, and felt good to get back in rhythm, but especially get the win.
Obviously, you've been teammates with D'Lo before. When you both are going, do you feel like there's sort of a mutual, hey, we're building each other up, we're keeping each other hot, and what do you think that does for the offense of this team?
Me and him been playing for a while now, so I know his game. I know when he's going to pass it to me. I know when it's his turn to get busy. But for both of us, we just want to have success. For both of us. If he's hot, I'm cheering him on. If I'm hot, he's cheering me on. To have a guard like that in your backcourt that's cheering you on, is huge, and it gives me confidence. And I'm pretty sure the same for him.
You guys had 15 threes in the first half. Can you sense during that moment that you guys are stroking the ball that well?
At one point, I was like, damn, we hot, especially after Rui hit the second one. I think Vando shot one in the first half, too, and it looked good. And AD hit a 3. He don't usually shoot 3s, so that was huge for us to just see the ball go in. And then Troy missed his first one, and he was like, I want to get in this action, and then he hit the second one. So, as a group, threes aren't our only option, but when we're knocking that down, and I feel like I'm the X factor of the team. Like last game, I feel like if I would have made 2 or 3 more threes, we would have won that game. And I'm not saying I got to make threes all the time, but I got to make an impact on the game, whether that's defense, offense, or anything else.
What's the group mentality going into tomorrow without Anthony?
Same mentality. Teams like that, it's necessarily hard to get up for those games against people who, are on the bottom half of the standings. But we know that this game doesn't matter unless we win tomorrow. And I think that's the message going in. And we can't let up on no matter what it is. Can't get bored with success.
All right, that's Malik Beasley right there. Kind of interesting quotes right there. That because it's harder to get up for a team like the Rockets because they're on the bottom half. Well, the W's still equal the same, so hopefully the Lakers don't have that issue tomorrow. I do like that last point he made about what does it mean beating the Pelicans tonight if you lose to the Rockets tomorrow. They're going to have to do it without Anthony Davis. Speaking of AD, 35, 17, got to the free throw line 12 times, 12 of 13, and 11 of 18 from the field. Played more minutes than I think any Laker fan would like to have seen just simply because they had a 40-point lead in this game. Played 33 minutes. but he's not playing tomorrow. Let's take a listen here to Anthony Davis.
AD, you obviously shouldered the loss against the Knicks and came out strong. First 6 points for the team. You guys go up 14-0 as a group. How important was it to the very start, come for this game?
I think it was very important for us just for standing purposes, tiebreaker purposes, and then just get back in the winning column. This team obviously is capable enough of beating us, as they showed before. But, we knew this was a very important game for us. And we just came out and played that way. Like you said, I took a lot of ownership for that game against New York, the way I played, and just want to come out, ultra aggressive tonight, knowing how important this game was. And everybody did. We was playing the right way, playing great defensively, sharing the ball offensively, playing together, and we was clicking on all cylinders. Kind of let it slip away in the second half. So we got to do a better job in that sense, but overall, I think we did a pretty good job.
AD, you were kicking yourself the other night, free throw line, 12 for 13 there. So you actually maybe not be so happy about missing the one, but how locked in were you, especially at the end of the game when you guys needed those free throws?
Very, very. Like I say, they started creeping back in. I think they got it to 13, 15, something like that. The way they can shoot the ball, with CJ and, B.I., Trey Murphy, we never want to let them get back in the game. So we did a good job, getting the bonus early and, just being aggressive, trying to make the ref, call fouls and go to the line, knock them down.
What do you think about the play of Malik Beasley tonight? He was knocking it down.
Yeah.
It's been tough the last couple of games.
After shooting around today, he got a lot of threes up. And it showed, he's very hard on himself. As far as shooting basketball, he never want to miss 2 in a row. Then he came out, on fire. Anytime he's making shots, he just open the floor up more for all our guys to get to the basket. Even when he's missing, you still got to respect him as a shooter. But when he's making, he gets very hot and, the rim gets very, big for him, and all guys able to, D'Lo, Dennis, Austin, able to attack now, knowing that they have to respect him.
What's it like to lose to the Knicks, fall to 11, wake up, and then you...
It's the Western Conference for you. It just goes back to, for me, just thinking, if I play somewhat decent in the New York game, we get a chance to win the game, where could we be? So maybe tie for 6 or something like that. I don't know. So, but we control our own destiny. We're 9th now. I'm not sure what happened or where we are, if we moved up or stayed the same, but we control our own destiny. We just got to keep winning basketball games.
AD, Darvin was telling us, you're not going to be cleared for tomorrow, and I know that's out of your hands, and this decision made months ago. How do you kind of compartmentalize, not being able to be cleared for these games when these standings battles happen?
Yeah, it's tough, especially the position we're in. Obviously, want to go out and play. But before I even came back, there's something the doctors and the organization discussed that they thought it would be best for me not to play back-to-backs because the foot, even though I'm not feeling pain and everything, it's still an active injury, with the stress reaction and everything. And, we're doing all the right things to make sure that I'm ready to go. And, they always say I need that day break. So, obviously it sucks. Good thing we get, got D'Lo back. And, our guys, I think, are more than capable enough to go out and win a basketball game. But, same situation in OKC, man. It's, they were able to get a win. But it's tough, with position here, you want to go out and play. But, at the end of the day, with an injury, like that, you don't want it to go to the other side, so you want to stay on top of it. So I'm going to be there coaching the guys up, trying to make sure we do whatever we can to get the win against a very competitive Houston team, by the way, who just beat Boston. So going to be a big test for us tomorrow, too.
All right, that's Anthony Davis right there. So 123-108, the final score. Lakers get the first of the 2-game road trip. 2 quick games, one already in the books, one more to go tomorrow. and then the Lakers will come back. They'll have 5 games in a row starting on Friday. So Dallas, Orlando, Phoenix, OKC, Chicago. OKC and Dallas, they're tied with right now, so the fact that they get to face both of those teams in this 5-game set, that's big. But I don't want to look too far ahead. They got one more game against the Houston Rockets tomorrow before they do come back to Crypto.com Arena. It's a fun time. It really is kind of an interesting time where I think a month ago, if you would have said that the Lakers were right in the thick of this thing, I think they just have to worry about themselves because there is so much moving and shaking in the Western Conference. They're now 9-4 since the trade deadline. So they're doing their part. To be 5 games over 500 in a 13-game stretch, that's impressive for the Lakers. Tomorrow they get a chance to get back to 500. That will be 35-35. They could grab that win tomorrow. But like AD just said at the end there, the Rockets they're good to go. They're going to have one of the 3 worst records in the NBA anyways. So if they want that chance for the number 1 pick and Victor Wembanyama, that part has already been accomplished for them. So they could win a couple of games and it doesn't hurt anybody. They beat the Boston Celtics yesterday, so keep that one in mind. Okay, couple quick mentions. Starting tomorrow morning, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. I'll be on with Travis Rogers. We'll do our regular show. Mason Ireland after that, and then we'll start pregame show again, same exact time, 3:30. Tip-off will be 5 p.m. in Houston. Thank you to Michael Funches. Thank you to Laura Romo, all our digital team as well, Josh Martinez and Cody Liu, and Brian Cohen out there doing the highlights. I'm Alan Sliwa. This has been the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Thank you for listening to Lakers Basketball Tonight.
Lakers Basketball on ESPN LA is sponsored by Subaru of Glendale,
the #1 volume Subaru dealer in California.
Lakers Basketball, delivered by New Melts from Pizza Hut. Cheesy, crispy, and loaded with toppings for just $6.99. Enough for 2, price for 1. New Pizza Hut Melts, only at Pizza Hut.
Presented by Call